and global. Oh, celebrity gist. Okay. We are in studio silence, please. Mics are up.
Grapevine on Smooth 98.1 in collaboration with Verve, the rewarding way to make payments. Verve, the rewarding way to make payments.
And a good morning to you, Lagos. You're tuning in and listening to Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Welcome.
Welcome.
It's 16 minutes gone past 8. Valentine and myself.
Folu.
We are officially in the building to talk entertainment. Joining us as usual, we've got our analyst in Myst. How you doing this morning?
I'm very well, thank you.
Just this sultry voice. I'm
Yeah,
going to remove
this-
it and take it for myself.
Sounds like the breeze, ocean breeze.
Threaten it every day, but I mean it. I mean it. But we've also got special guests in the studio. We have the rounding off of Lamb August, all right? The last artist dropping a hip hop album this month, but certainly not the least, one of the newest additions to the fold. His name is BlaqBonez, or Bad Boy Blaq, as we will now address him. Good morning. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Excellent. Great to have you in the studio. Good to have you. I hope you kept your fans outside.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, okay, thank you. Thank you for respecting us. And like also on Tuesday, we played some spoken word for you, an Afrobeat mix, and people went crazy up on our timelines. Well, we brought her into the studio today because she very emailed that I sent lastminute.com. Her name is Miss Eva Johnson. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad.
Pretty with the face, pretty with the mind too.
Hey.
And mind too. We got you. We got you.
You're gonna teach us some of the lyrics. today.
I'd love
Absolutely.
to.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off with brand new first. Let's listen to Black.
It's doing like crazy numbers. Like yo, I was checking my DM and like you have like people review and I saw like I was just scrolling down and I saw it very bad and I'm like, wait, I see Silas.
They are looking for you.
Like yo, so many celebrities, like so many people, and I'm really like happy. I saw Adekunle Gold, and
Yeah.
I've actually like I've actually made a diss track at him before, so it was weird for me. I saw him, I was like, wow, this guy.
What was the first word?
So, said,
When you saw him? No, when you saw him.
no, I didn't see him.
No, it's in his
Oh,
DMs, in
Like
his
in my
DMs.
my
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
for views and stuff.
So you were shocked.
I was so shocked. I was like, wow, how is somebody this good?
Evil behavior.
After this.
Okay, Lagos, it's brand new music time. So let's listen to a little bit of what BlaqBonez has dropped for us on Bad Boy Blaq. And of course, if you haven't copped it yet, you're on a long thing. Valentine, let the good people know how they can send us messages.
All right,
This
send us a
morning.
message through WhatsApp. WhatsApp number 0809-444-0981. You can also go on Twitter and tweet at us at Smooth981FM. Use that hashtag Grapevine981. So many episodes.
You went through all the
Yeah,
segments,
I
bro.
did actually. Grapevine981. All right, send us that message. We'd look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, we're also streaming live on YouTube, so don't forget, hit us up over there. And let's start with this one. This one is called Consent, and I just thought the title was so interesting and the story provocative. So it's like, let's have you guys listen to it. Let us know what you think. It's the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. This one is by BlaqBonez. Studio. Okay, let's reevaluate. Very
it.
interesting. Okay, BlaqBonez, talk to us. Consent. Why this title in this time of hashtag Me Too, hashtag Men are Scum? Why this one?
So like I feel like it's a topic that's very important because these days when I meet girls, I actually ask, because before I used to always like see it on the internet. I was like, is this happening, really happening to everybody? Then I started having conversations with people and females, and almost everybody, at least like 4 out of 5 of the girls that I've had that conversation with have been raped in the past.
Oh my goodness.
So
That's
like
scary.
I was like, wow, is this how it is right now? Like it's something that I can't imagine it. Like why how would you force somebody, like no matter how much you want whatever you want, like this is a human being, like you I feel like you can kill someone if you can,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Very strong message. But before that happened, you never asked questions or you never had conversations. You just.
I never really had conversations.
How many
Yeah.
people really had conversations? Let's be fair. How many
Yeah.
conversations did you have, Al?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah. I would have to fall in love with your
He
brain,
does seem
with
like
your
the
mind
kind that
first
would
before
actually-
I would ask.
I go further.
Because I
yeah.
find that a lot of the times the conversations you hear or what you hear is I was just really uncomfortable and I felt pressured into this. But because of the way that a lot of music, interestingly, which is why I chose this song for us to talk about, a lot of music portrays toasting gays, especially in an African context. Very forceful. Come here, let me show you. Show.
It's supposed to be give and take.
You know, you're walking down the
street.
street, somebody grabs your hand. But why you doing shakara for me?
Who do you think you are? And they'll start calling you names.
They'll definitely are you better than the woman in my house? Are you alright?
What do you guys think? James Silas has also made it into the studio. James, it's been a while since you have spoken at this time, but
Yeah.
we welcome you.
Yeah.
Okay, but what did you guys think of this
So, I
track?
mean, listening to the explanation now, first when I was listening to the song, I was wondering, I said, okay, do you really need a lady's consent to treat her right? Like, to be nice to her, you
like
know?
that, yeah.
But so now going deeper into the song, I said, okay, you need consent.
And there's a definition in there at the end of the song
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a good thing. And then coming from the angle from the people that he is saying, which is why it's very important sometimes to actually listen to this. I mean, hear from the artist.
Yes.
You know, I like to know where this music is coming from. It's actually a good thing that he's actually talking about this in the music. This is life. This is what it is. Going by what Val just said, that you have to fall in love with a person's brain, bro. The first thing you see is
He's not brain.
Arsenal
Brain
and
is just like
Manchester
your
United. So stop playing yourself, bro.
Oh, that's
I see what you did there.
Wordplay.
Bars.
First of all, I think the first thing I took away from the song, way before I heard the lyrics of the song, was just how well you made the song. It is a delicious song. In the sense that if I didn't know who you were, I woke up from sleep and it was playing, I'll just say, I wish Yankee artist.
Exactly. Would you have thought Migos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have gone to one of those people. And then he now has content, which is what all those people are lacking, by the way. Those people have nothing to say. But you said something. And on the issue of consent, it's interesting that because of the current rate at which we have this conversation, guys are now beginning to understand a few things.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you think, you know what, I can't even blame a lot of guys for being ignorant. Like she said, our culture, first of all, doesn't make it look like a woman deserves
To be asked.
to be asked. Everything is about her subserviency or whatever. It's about the man's dominance. So ego is already attached to this thing. You now come and meet the girl. She now wants to be forming P. Who you be? You know what I mean? So the first reaction to that is usually force. In fact, they bring force from the door, from the gate. So yes, thank you for the conversation continuation. It is a very needed one, and you're a very intelligent child.
Well done.
Listen,
Well done.
speaking of intelligence, Miss Eva Johnson is sitting right here. Eva, as an artist as well, and I say intelligence because it's spoken word artist, listen, it's not beans, it's content everywhere. There's nothing else. You can't hide it. You can't hide. I'm curious, what are your thoughts on what you just heard from BlaqBonez? And we do have a track from Eva that's going to come up in just a bit, actually.
I like it. I like it a lot. For me, I'm not always so keen on the trap genre, but I liked it. Like you said, the production was very clean. It did sound international standard worthy, and content is always key for me. As Folu just said, it's always about content. Right? So the fact that you're talking about it is good because it makes other men feel like they can also talk about it and think about it. So
Excuse me, Miss Eva. Can I just say that I absolutely love your voice?
Exactly.
Like,
Valentine, okay.
no, I'm not the only one. So you two, so confess for you.
It is good. No, listen, I can repeat your liner for us word for word, but it's gonna come up in a bit. So you know, don't just listen. Let's just hear it happen right now. We have to take a very quick break. When we come back, we got more new music. Miss Eva Johnson has got a whole album out, so we got another track from her that we're gonna listen to, and then back to one more track from BlaqBonez before we jump into our entertainment stories for the day. It's the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1.
These is Tosin Martins.
Isn't it?
Yes. Sir.
Yeah. No, we mentioned, he mentioned rape though, but we're also talking about sex, and because it's breakfast.
Because breakfast radio. So I mean, well
their
done.
children. Has
He
school
sends
started?
something
School
to
has
it.
started.
Yeah.
School has started. School drive, please. I've received enough of those messages before from people's parents. Don't you know our children?
Why are they listening?
No, but it is an important conversation, and that was really the reason I picked this song because you're right. For like,
Specifically,
they should know.
so that they're not at this age when they find out that consent is a necessity.
even for children.
I saw a children's book on Twitter.
It's so good,
Yeah.
and it tells them about their parts,
Yes.
and if someone touches you in these areas,
We
say
need
no,
to stop
speak up.
No, but
tabooing the
it's a bit
important
stressful.
things.
That
It's a bit
conversation is
stressful
really
because in
important.
Nigeria you have people with 8 children.
Yeah.
Right? Hello, your children didn't drop from the sky.
Yeah, you had sex to have your children,
Right,
people.
So can you talk to your
And they
children
actually
about
don't want to talk to them. It's like, Mommy, how did XYZ? Jesus.
Shake his hand.
That's if they answer you. My friend, have you done your homework? Why are you asking
You know
questions?
that I know a lot of people that refuse adamantly to
To
even
answer, they don't address
watch
it.
any question that
How many of you had your
I
parents
didn't-
talk
I
to you
didn't
about
have
sex? Did
any
you have any
sex
sex education?
I did.
education.
My mom-
Sex
My mom was
education.
the mother of 5
Did
girls, so
not.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys, okay, there you go.
I didn't.
It was
I did
book.
it. I learned myself.
I read it in the
In fact, I come from a home where
Yee.
the first day girl visited
Yeah.
my.
Yes, be careful.
The first day,
Oh, no.
the first day a lady
Tough,
visited me,
tough.
I was
It's crazy.
so uncomfortable. I didn't know how my parents were going to
What did you say?
react.
Visited you?
Yeah,
Just came to your house.
Yeah, came to my house to see. Oh, okay.
Was sure.
Crazy stuff, man.
I
That
wasn't
was
sure
major.
how
But the
to
first thing I
react.
did hear was just the dopeness of the track. So I listened to the whole album and I was just vibing. And I was like, oh, I don't really hear anything he said. Let me go back and listen.
I like how you started it. Like, that's all.
It's
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Ooh, there you go.
See, I bless them with the face, bless them with the pretty mind too. I may look like her, but we're not the same. Mind you,
the
all
way
the
she
things I'm
delivers
saying
the
are
line.
spinning your mind too. Call it mental gymnastics or better.
You have
Call
to
it
do something with
mindful. You can
like for
find your
Smooth
mind when
breakfast.
you let the music
gotta-
find you right here on Smooth 98.
All right, so this is Miss Eva John coming in with.
This is Miss Eva Johnson, and don't you touch that dial.
If you want it, you can feel it. In your soul.
How you feeling? How you feeling in your soul? Tell me how the traffic's got so low. Say, how you feeling when your love turns wrong? Turn back up all the traffic's ain't got so low. How you feeling? How you feeling in your soul? Tell me how the traffic's got so low. Say, how you feeling when your love turns wrong? Turn back up all the traffic's ain't got so low.
How you feel it and back in the body, get it? I speak a word in a minute, could spit it all in a minute. I heard you hope you get a racist, a mass misogynist. Got you look around your world and tell me there's no God in this. There's no God in this. I feel sorry for you. Since you're such a baby, let me help you tie your shoes. Lace your back, the goals are surely misplaced.
All right, we're back in
Showing up
studio.
your earrings, but I blow it in your face.
Listen, yeah, we've got some lyricists in the building. This is the Grapevine on Smooth 98.1. What you're listening to is Miss Eva Johnson, but she's also in the studio with
Yes,
Valentine,
Flesh and blood.
and myself,
And Folu.
and we've got Myst, James Silas, as well as BlaqBonez, who's also here. Miss Eva Johnson, talk to us about this incredible work that you put out in this album, and tell us a little bit about the album as well.
Okay, so the album is, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. to be here,
Welcome.
I must say.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks. The album is titled From a Different Cloth,
Yeah.
and it represents one thing, first of all, that I am from a different cloth. I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm not like anybody else you've ever heard. I don't try to be. I don't intend to be at any point in my life. Hopefully I don't become like anybody else.
Preach.
Yeah. And also the album is basically different pieces of and different styles of art cut from different cloths and put together. So there's house music with spoken word, there's Afro beats with spoken word, there's rap, there's singing, there's R&B, there's soul, and it's just a blend. Because for me, it's a continuum. Music is a continuum, and music for me, or poetry or rap or whatever, is about a message. So it's a continuum of how you deliver the message, being creative about it, and doing things that people haven't really done before. So that's what it is about. From a different cloth, it's just my baby, my blood, sweat, and tears. I've been performing live at events and things for a couple of years. These pieces, I just thought to record them and share with the rest of the world.
Okay. Were there any concerns when you thought to yourself, I want to put together this body of work? Not all the poets are doing that at the moment. I know Titi Lokwe did, Miss Wana did. You put out this body of work. I think Ndukwe Onoha did as well, because we actually played something of his. Were there any worries that you had, considering our markets?
Yeah, so I know that the market for spoken word isn't great, but I do also know that putting music the way I do with the spoken word does help. I've had that reaction. Like I said, I've been performing the pieces for some years, so some of them anyway. So I know that when you put music, especially for the Nigerian market, they kind of, okay, there's a song there, and they kind of listen to it.
So you can vibe.
Like, you vibe a little bit, and they keep quiet and listen to you and all that. So I'm not expecting it to be everybody's cup of tea, but I think that some of the pieces do have a wide appeal. So, in that regard, I'm not too worried.
All right.
Awesome.
Analysts. So I see you guys just watching her.
Yeah.
Like,
Can't you tell that she's a lioness?
Hey, cut from a different cloth.
I mean, if you can't tell, then you're really a mess.
Oh, no, don't kill me.
Look, honestly, first of all, yes, your tone of voice is remarkable.
Yeah.
Your delivery is on point. The musicality that you used in carrying and just being the bed for the messages that you're sharing, fabulous. And then your confidence, like I said when we were reviewing earlier,
Infamous lady.
look, it comes across from one song to the next one. It's almost infectious. Like any girl, young girl that happens to, come across your music, she will want to just associate and embody. And I think that's very powerful in the times that we're in. And that thing you said about, yes, we don't really do spoken word here. I think what we do here is we follow. So your music does have the potential to cause people to follow. And then when one person follows, and then 10 follow, and 100 want to follow, and 1,000. So your music will probably do a lot better than envisaged, especially when people like me keep going everywhere shouting about it.
Thank you very much.
I mean, shout out to all the spoken. There's this Sage Hassan.
Yes,
Sage.
I think Kaba Fest is happening. A few people might be there in Kaduna somewhere.
There's also what's his name, Plumbline.
Yeah.
A couple of them. All of them. So it's not particularly a popular market, so to speak. But I always say that if you want to do rap music, like real rap music, think of people like guys like Talu Kweli, Common. These are people who are very intelligent. The same thing applies to spoken words. What I don't know yet, but listening to this particular track, just sort of makes it clearer that maybe if you can do spoken words, you might be able to rap.
I don't think there's any might. We just heard the rap verse.
Absolutely.
It was a little fire.
But it doesn't apply every time. There are some rappers who can really do the spoken word. So, but this is beautiful to listen to, and I just think you should keep doing it. And talking about if you don't think it's everybody's cup of tea, let's leave that for the people. That's their loss.
Right.
So you have families. Just a matter of time. You discover them and yourself.
Indeed. BlaqBonez, any comments on what you've heard this morning?
Yeah, it actually sounded really like smooth, right? I'm not like usually a big fan of spoken word.
Okay.
But like she said, maybe the music under it made it connect more.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, like it sounded really like cool.
Yeah. All right.
When she was singing, all I thought about was she was rapping precisely. All I was thinking, who I was thinking about was Eve. EVE.
Do you get that a lot, Eva? Do you have people ever thinking that you're Eve when they just hear you and maybe don't see you? Has that ever happened to you?
Actually, Eve, no.
Okay. Well, who?
What of Eva here?
I got that.
Yeah.
I've got Eva a bit. I've got a handful of people, but I think when I mean, I guess there's the texture of my voice, but there's also the intensity of how I deliver my.
And the flow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay.
Never
So it
forget
makes you
the
just.
flow.
Okay.
Makes you
Okay.
seem like someone else. I don't know.
Okay, quite a few messages have come through this morning for you. First of all, this is the first one in like applause. Welcome to Smooth FM, Miss Oyinda Eva Johnson. Debo has put your whole government name outside.
That's okay.
He says your spoken word piece is dope.
Thank you, Debo.
And Cruz continues to say, "Oh, Eva Toppin."
Tom Poppin.
Poppin. Oh,
Say
that's what
Tom
that is.
Poppin.
Oh, okay. Benga Komu says, "Tell Valentine, what? Excuse you.
It says
Tell,
to
tell
calm
me
down.
to calm down." Say he likes your rhymes, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we've got this one in from Chioma from Ikorodu who says, I'm loving the sound of Miss Eva Johnson. Reminds me of Diggable Planets. Loving it. That's such a great comparison. But we still have more new music. So BlaqBonez is still here, and he's got another track that we want you to listen to. This one is called Mami Water. And again, I love the contrast of consent and then Mami Water. So we're going to just listen to it and just let us know what you think. And as the honorary Mami Water myself, I feel these man. Let me just play it for you. Keep listening. This is a Grapevine on Smooth 98.1.
You should just
So she's an
Honorary Mami Water.
Yes, sir.
You know how we do. What that is. Yeah.
Hey. Okay now. All right.
Baby, take a look in my eye. I cannot deny. 'Cause you're so damn fine. Are you so damn dangerous?
All right, well, that is serious.
Are you so damn fine?
I always see people in the studio just like, yeah, he's me, actually, particularly. That's bad. So let's go. BlaqBonez, why Mami Water? Explain to us. Who is the girl? Say her name.
An
outside.
encounter.
Let's know.
If you ain't sure.
Like, funny enough, there's a song on my album titled Tosin.
Mm.
Everybody's like coming at me like,
Who's
who's
Tosin?
Tosin? Who's Tosin?
But who is Tosin?
Hey.
Tosin is Tosin.
Okay.
Tosin is Mami Water.
And then who's the Mami Water?
Tosin is Mami Water too.
Oh.
So on this song, I heard some Oxley deal with Alpha.
Mm.
And I was like, this is so dope. Alpha, we need to make something else.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, Alpha was actually on this show a couple of weeks ago as well, and he was responsible for a lot of the production on here as well.
Yeah. So I was like, Alpha, we need to work on something. And we're in the studio with like Oxlade and said, Oxlade, take the lead on this one. Let me feel that vibe. So like he started vibing the whole Mami Water thing. I was like, yeah, man, this is something. And because the whole Mami Water thing connecting with the vibe, the song has this fella vibe. It just feels like a proper Nigerian,
Trap,
vibe.
yeah.
So I was like,
Taking you away from the trap.
yeah, taking it away from trap
Yeah.
life. So
Okay, I really want to know. So what is sort of your objective for this album? Because this is your debut album. I know that by watching you perform live in other places, you have said before that you've been rapping for a while.
yeah.
But maybe the public are just getting to know you now. So how does that feel? Because I think a lot of artists have that story of, when people hear you with something major that finally connects, and they're like, my God, you're so brand new, welcome, new people. But for you, you've been doing this for a while. So what are you hoping to do with this project, with this body of work you put out?
So like I'm hoping to put myself in a conversation like that goes like transcends genres. Like, okay, I'm not trying to like get boxed in that rap genre. Like I want to be the guy. I want to be like the Drake. Where, like, that musical conversation. Like when you see Drake, you see him as an artist.
Yeah.
Because he can do anything. Like he did the whole Caribbean thing that time. He did the Afro beats thing. Did the rap. Did the trap. Like that's what I'm trying to like.
Wherever the money is, let me capture it.
Like wherever the music like is.
Okay.
That's the money.
That's nice.
Yeah, I just like your work. I think there isn't all of that much for me to tell you right now, but that I like your work.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
James, your thoughts?
Production-wise, I just want to curious about the quality of production. Really, I've listened to some of your old songs before, but this time around, I hear a more matured project. So it just sort of takes me to, and I suspect MI. How much influence did he have any influence in your production on the total package of this project?
EP.
Yeah, MI basically like Alpha worked on mixing, mastering, and a lot of the initial production. So M was the one that finished everything and made sure, like, touched up on the vocals, touched up on the sound, the output. So M was like, we brought everything. I said, okay, M.
Easy project.
So M made sure, like, if you listen through, it's a playthrough, like everything is linked and everything. Like, we actually sat down and discussed the arrangement of how the songs will be, so that it's smooth and everything. So like M really did a lot to make sure like the sound, and like you talked about production and everything, like meeting Alpha this year was just major for me. Because once the moment I met him, my trajectory like changed, like it was up since then, because the production, everything went up. His mixing, everything just sounds different, more mature, like you said.
Lagos, this guy is a very smart guy. Like, you really impressed me. Yeah,
I'm so lucky because Lagos, God knows, I was this close to just cancelling this boy from my books. We'll be back in just a bit to discuss why it's a Grapevine on Smooth 98.1.
Class music. World class station.
Oh, the article I wrote about live performance. It was this fellow. He's jumping around twice. Yes.
What did you do?
Sorry?
No, not basement gate for crown. Coronation.
But it's been crazy ever since. So I went to Benin,
He was jumping around and then
I went to no, like it was like, you know, like trap performances.
Well, back in it was not performance. It was jumping.
Yeah, like,
and losing breath.
I actually worked on that. I went to Benin. Yeah. After.
You said, but we're back in right now, guys. Studio.
My name is Jessica Bongos, and this is Smooth 98.1.
Indeed. We're back in on the Grapevine. I'm in the studio with us, and that's with Valentine and myself.
That's Folu.
We've got our usual analysts. We have Myst, and we've got James Silas, and we've got special guests in the studio, Miss Eva Johnson. Hello, Miss Eva.
Hello.
Excellent spoken word artist extraordinaire. She's just dropped an album. It's called Cut from a Different Cloth. And we also have BlaqBonez, who's in the studio.
Bad Boy Blaq in the building.
There you go. Bad Boy Blaq is also the name of his album that he's dropped. And you can cop all those on all digital platforms. It's out there, people. Dari says, wait, this Eva is different from the other Eva Alodia? Yes, she is. This is Miss Eva Johnson. Says, I was thinking that she rebranded. I believe that she did the lady response track, which is neat. But I think it's worrying that she bears the same name and sounds like the other Eva. People might be dismissive of her talent start. I wish you all the best in your career, and will do my bit to let people know it's not the same Eva. Says Dari.
Spread the word. Love your style. The Afrobeat track gets me thinking. Well done. Keep it coming, please. Val, why do I hear this? The excitement is why?
Put a drooling face there.
all of you haters.
Tega from Satellite Town says, "Oh shit, Smooth is just born in this cool Thursday morning." Great piece of work from Eva Johnson. Well done, man. You just gained an extra fan. And I got BlaqBonez. I see you. Dope stuff. Just one question: do you write all your songs? And this question is to both of you, actually.
I do. Yes.
BlaqBonez, do you write all your stuff?
Yeah, I do. Like hip hop, if you don't write your stuff, you're coming for your head.
Very true. Very true.
Can I just say though that I think a lot of Nigerian musicians who are talented should get a writer.
Some not all musicians,
but they write.
Nonsense.
I'm available.
Say your market.
Myst is available to write for you.
There you go.
All right.
Also, questions of whether you guys are open to working with someone kind of fresh. Tega, are you selling yourself?
Yeah, it depends on who it is, surely.
Dalvin from Maryland says, Miss Eva J in the house. Yay, hey. Please, where can we purchase the album?
You can purchase it on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, Deezer, Apple, Amazon Music, Google Play, and so on and so forth. Everywhere, basically.
It's all over the place.
From a different class.
Yes, indeed. And of course, Bad Boy Blaq as well. Now, I mean, we've literally had zero time to get into any of the stories for this morning. But I feel that we just need to give you a quick update on Asia Argento. So Asia Argento is the founder of the Me Too movement. Yep, hashtag. And she was recently accused of sexually molesting a 17-year-old actor. Yep, having sex with him. They were going to release videos. She paid them to be silent. She's come out to say, well, it was this horny kid who jumped me. I had sex with him. It felt weird, and then dragged in Bourdain's name, says Anthony, basically paid the settlement just to help avoid any undesirable outcomes of it. But here they are now. Any comments
absolutely no
on
respect
this?
for the dead.
I mean, it was her boyfriend, and if he did that, I guess. But,
Yeah, but
what I know, what are your thoughts?
See, I'm tired.
Everyone is silent.
I'm tired. You know, we spoke about this like some time ago,
Yeah.
and I said it's possible that she was just trying to shut him up. But guess what? Now she's even saying that she did. And unfortunately, the video, we've not seen it. We have not seen it.
Yeah, you
So
only
we
see-
can't even say for a fact that this poor kid jumped up because he's a freaky weird child.
No.
Do you understand? It just sounds like something somebody trying to dodge judgment would say. Which is sad because you've been shouting Me Too up and down the place.
I think the concern is with the volatility with which she's been pushing the Me Too movement and has been very aggressive with anyone who has been pointed at, not confirmed, not jailed, not convicted in the court of law. It's been you touch somebody, you see this is the problem.
Yeah.
Hashtag Scum.
Unfortunately, if you throw a punch and you throw it with so much force, that's unfortunately for you, if you throw it at somebody who's a professional martial artist and uses that force against you, that's pretty much similar to what happened.
Yeah, and then I mean, once again, she did say that she froze.
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Exactly.
No,
She's
but
making
then
less sense.
What does this boy look like? Is he 6'2"?
No, it doesn't matter because unless
Weighs
she's
200 pounds.
unless she's saying that she was raped,
Yes, which she hasn't
which she
said.
hasn't said. There's no way
He was
someone just jumps
consensual and he was 17.
And she asked, you remember the previous story that she asked the family member to step out of the room, that she would spend time with him alone.
Ooh.
On that note, we're
Don't
done.
forget.
We're done with the Grapevine for this morning. I wish we could have got through all this story. So sorry we couldn't, but definitely not sorry for the great music we listened to this morning.
Yep.
BlaqBonez, thank you for coming in. Bad Boy Blaq is out. Platforms nationwide. If you guys are driving on that link bridge, you see all their faces. Lambogos, hashtag. You see people. I recorded it. It's very cool. Just try and avoid the fans on your way out. Just do your best.
It's difficult. Like, so many, like so many cars around me.
Following you.
I'm like they didn't follow. They
Just
stopped.
around.
They were parked. Were they moving? What were they doing? Like all of them. Was it traffic?
Traffic.
Okay, that's what they call traffic. So many.
Hashtag stay humble. Stay humble. Miss Eva Johnson, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate having you. And as always, to our analyst, Myst, who is available for songwriting if you need her help. And James Silas, who's just available for this awesome coolness. Please check out Chicks and Jam Jam. And if you're not on their Instagram, guys, you're missing out on brilliant comedy. Coming up next, final hour, Smooth Breakfast. We get to talk. We'll be taking a closer look at what's going on in terms of national headlines. Keep listening to Smooth Breakfast.
This is what happens. Like, I always know the days we're not going to get to the story.
Yeah.